The Amazing Spider-Man. This is a different take on the character, as has been done in the comics, with amazing, superior, etc. The elements here that are brought to film that are different and unique this time around are that Peter's parents have a backstory here that kind of gives you this spy thriller thing going on, while also being an origin story for Peter and Dr. Kirk Connors. Now, Lizard just looked bad. I'm just gonna say it, like, it just looked bad. The CG for this movie, it's fine. It's just that his face, the design there, it's not like any other lizard we've seen. I can't remember a comic prior to this movie coming out where he looked like that. It also makes him look like a Goomba from the Mario Brothers movie, which were meant to be like jokes, and those look terrible as well. So I don't know, just my opinion. I didn't like the look of him. I think a lot of people agree, maybe, which is why they're not showing his face so much in the teasers. I don't know. As far as the other characters go, everyone was just okay. There were no real standout performances here. Everything was just kind of okay, in my opinion. I think the backstory with Peter's parents is a little convoluted. Wasn't a fan of that. Really, the only things memorable besides the awful look of Dr. Kurt Connors were the suit, which was like a darker blue, which is, looks cool, and, it's a little different than the other suits. And Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Now, at some point, they were dating in real life, and it shows because the chemistry there was sometimes good, but sometimes it was a little too over the top. There's a lot of laughing going on in scenes that just felt unnatural. More so in the second movie than the first. But they were good. They were good. And that's not necessarily a fault of them. That would be a fault of editing, for not editing that properly. So just my opinion. This movie doesn't do much for me. I will never re-watch it, and the characterization of Spider-Man here just misses the mark slightly, even if it's the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm gonna put this one in tier C, but it's definitely at the low end of tier C, almost a D. Okay, then The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This is actually my least favorite Spider-Man of them all. This is another example of cramming too much into one movie. You got Rhino. The performance was so unmemorable because it was just too short, and that's what happens when you try to cram too much in one movie. And the material just, it wasn't there. And Paul Giamatti, fine actor. It's just the way they did him in this movie, not good. Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, same as the first movie. However, that death scene with Gwen Stacy, that was very well done. I did like that a lot. The scene just, it hits you, and they did a great job. Like, that was the highlight of the movie, was the Gwen Stacy death scene. As far as the rest of this movie goes, though, Harry, his motivations, going cuckoo bananas just like Green Goblin in the Tobey Spider-Man movies, I don't feel it. I don't feel this emotional connection to this character because they just try to shove this stuff in your face in a short movie. They're trying to shove Rhino, or their version of Green Goblin, and Dan DeHaan. He can play a supervillain. He can play one really well. You know what I'm talking about. But the material in this movie was just so bad. But the icing on the cake, the thing that makes this the worst Spider-Man movie, in my opinion, is what they did to Electro. Jamie Foxx, what they did to this man in this movie is terrible. They made him blue, which, yes, we're doing the Amazing Spider-Man, I understand, but it looked terrible. The voice, also terrible. Didn't like that. But the thing that killed it was this ridiculous rapping we have to do before we attack. This decision to have him run these lines like he's almost rapping before attacking, it was more cheesy and corny than any of the stuff in the Sam Raimi films. And I hope in No Way Home we don't have to go through that again. I don't want to hear him rapping when he attacks anybody. So I'm going to put this one in tier E. Tier E. I've never put anything in tier E on this channel, so yeah.